You put a lot of focus on Leah Thomas and that whole situation. However, what about all of the other trans athletes that don't make it to the top? Because I unfortunately don't have a list of every trans athlete known to man. I didn't fully prepare, but what about all of the, because Leah Thomas is one case out of many. So what about the other trans athletes that have transitioned and do participate in sports but don't make it to the top and are middle of the pack?
Well, they're still beating other women, aren't they? They're taking somebody's spot, right?
Well, no,
but
they are women.
Okay,
they have transitioned.
So let's ask a question. So thank you for being here and the courage for talking. First of all, what is a woman? Let's start there.
Well, as she said, anyone who identifies as such, and traditionally it would be gender dysphoria. That is a legitimate medical condition. So if you have gender dysphoria, yes.
Okay, so that's interesting. So that's your personal definition of what a woman is. Why should society adopt that definition, therefore disenfranchising chromosomal-born women?
As I say in all my other videos, these people are very confused. Their definition for what a woman is a woman who identifies as a woman. That's as asinine as if I said a phone is something that we call a phone. That's the stupidity and the absurdity of the discussions that we're having in today's society, where we use circular definitions. A woman is someone who identifies as a woman. Gotcha.
Really, it's out of respect for those that have the condition.
Got it. So we should elevate the people with the mental condition over half the population.
No.
Basically.
Not at all. I'm just saying that we should just simply, because it's not a battle between I'm elevating this person over another person. It's merely out of respect for that person, for them to feel comfortable and to participate in the sport of, their gender that they identify as.
Okay, so feeling comfortable. So giving people what they want is not always the right thing. Okay? So let me give you an example. We do not give liposuction to people with anorexia. People with anorexia would want liposuction. It would kill them. We know better than that. So just giving people what they want is not always the right thing. So you say to make people comfortable. We could probably agree. I don't want people to be uncomfortable. But then you have the choice to make. What if all of a sudden you're making half the population uncomfortable and the sport itself is all of a sudden being destroyed and standards as we know it are completely destroyed? So let me ask you a question. If someone, and I don't want to assume your gender, you could tell me whatever it is dealing with that situation, why don't they continue to compete as that new gender with the people with their chromosomes that they share?
And the craziness about this whole ideology is they're saying we should do it out of respect. But then that's contradiction on their part, because they don't respect the people who don't believe in the nonsense that they believe in. So where is the respect for people who don't want to tell a lie to other people and want to live in reality? Why don't they respect people who don't believe in all of this nonsense? But of course, they want people to respect the minority and the very, very small minority.
Because they don't identify as such. And I actually, I'm really glad you brought up the example with the, I'm sorry, could I steer the conversation back towards what you said about comfort?
But let me ask you another question. So how people identify matters a lot to you, right?
Yes,
correct?
Of course.
Okay, so should we allow adults who identify as toddlers compete in preschool soccer?
No.
Why? They identify as a child. We want them to be comfortable.
No, because that's not a legitimate mental.
It absolutely is. No. That's a real thing. Having people think that they're in a different body is a real thing. People think that they're dogs. People think that they're cats. And some people think they're children still. They never grow out of it. It's a legitimate mental condition. So shouldn't we accommodate fully grown 50-year-old men who want to play T-ball?
Before we get back into the video, I need all of you to turn on your post notifications so that you get notified when one of my videos come out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video if you enjoyed the video, comment down below. I'll try and reply to as many comments as possible, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy. Let's get back into the video.
Well, no, because they require a different treatment plan, and this is what I wanted to steer back to.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I wanted to steer back towards what we talked about with comfort. It is shown, and this is legitimate, those who transition and are treated as the gender that they identify as mentally improve unbelievably, and it is absolutely true.
So I hate to break it to you. They're more likely to commit suicide. There's a huge community called Transition Regret. I encourage you to look at it. It has 27,000 members on Facebook of people who make the chemical castration decision to transition, and that's an irreversible decision. It's a growing group of people that say, I was sold a complete bill of goods here. And so, you know, that really is the question, which is, if it's irreversible, and you're citing some study that honestly the data shows exactly the opposite, is that they're more likely to commit suicide, more likely for self-harm, all these sorts of things. What is the proper way to treat it?
I would even go as far as saying the fact that he says that there's better outcomes, and I agree with Charlie Kirk that I don't believe that that's the case, and that there's better outcomes for them when they actually go through this treatment is utter bullcrap. I would argue that you're causing a mental toll on the people who you're telling to lie, who don't even believe in this rubbish. What about the people you're saying they should just call them by the gender that they claim they are? You're telling them to lie and go against their own morals when they don't believe in that. What about the mental turmoil you're causing the people who don't believe in that rubbish and telling them to lie, all because of a protected class is what they're really doing?
As I said, this study has not been disproven. The reason that the suicide rate is so high is because they are bullied for who they are. I have seen it
this is nonsense.
in school, and this is a truth.
And you know why I know it's nonsense? Because every single person in this room disagrees with you fundamentally and is treating you incredibly respectfully tonight. That is a pile of garbage. I know it's a pile of garbage.
Of course.
And so instead, and I'll be honest, it's the people that are in those positions that end up becoming the bullies themselves, that kicked me off of Twitter. That's, and no offense, but kind of your team is the one that's super, like, offended that I used a name that Levine used to have. Like, who's the bully in this situation?
Well, it's disrespectful to do that because she identifies as a woman. And it is just disrespect. That is why I can't speak for everyone else. I can only speak for myself at the end of the day, right? And it's just disrespectful. And it is not right to call Leah Thomas her dead name out of respect for her.
Levine or whatever. But let me zero in on this, right? So it's a birth name, whatever you could call it, a dead name. It's fine. But if I were to do a biography on Thomas and I would include that name, how is that disrespectful? Isn't that, like, let's take your argument at face value. Wouldn't that be a journey of transition, a courageous movement towards who you really are? Like an uplifting kind of sort of story and saga from the man I used to be and the woman I am now? How's that disrespectful?
Oh, well, in that context, probably.
So dead naming's now okay. I mean, maybe my tweet was all about the courageous journey of Ricardo Levine that once was named Richard and now name is Rachel. Do you see what's getting here is that you're putting a lot of preference on context and on how I identify and all of this. And your opinions, you can have your opinions. But what we're talking about tonight is how we structure society, right? And that is a totally different thing than your opinion. So when we start to structure society on a vast minority opinion, and we start to use power and force around that vast minority of an opinion, all of a sudden, the only way you can win that argument is the person who wins the oppression Olympics. Is the person who says, I'm the most victimized, therefore I get to create the rules because I'm not comfortable. And here's something that you might not want to hear, is that if you have liberty, by definition, you're not going to be comfortable. You cannot have liberty and comfort. You can't have them together. Instead, you know what? And I think deep down you have this in you. You can get stronger. And I want you to get stronger. Instead of you trying to remove everything that offends you in the world, I want you to dig deeper and be tougher than the people around you. That's what we believe.
And what Charlie Kirk was saying was very interesting, but I find it very hilarious and very funny how they say it's just disrespectful. Why don't you just call them by the gender that they associate themselves with? Why don't you respect the fact that I don't believe in that nonsense? How about you are the one who's disrespectful because you're telling me to tell a lie in something I don't believe in? But they don't care about that. As I keep saying in all my videos, they only care about their agenda and what they believe in. They only love the people who believe in the things that they believe in, although they go around saying that that they love everyone and they include everyone. And it's all about inclusion when the only people that they include is the people who have the same ideas that they have. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.